Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of the Arkham Avengers FFPL podcast. You join me, the host, along with Eamon, Hector, and Captain Fantastical Mick, where we take a look to see how the managers in this league are getting on for the season. However, we'll also be talking about much more. So kick back, stay tuned, and enjoy. And a very warm welcome to all our listeners this week. We hope everybody is keeping well and fine. I'm joined by Eamon and by Hector today. How are you, lads? How are you, Eamon?
Well, I'm quite well, thank you for asking, and big hello to our listeners who are joining us on today's episode. Yeah, I had a good weekend. I enjoyed the football. There's plenty of it. Of course, Gameweek 5 is midweek this week, and as we're recording, there will be matches on, and then we have more football starting again on the Saturday and the Sunday. So the football is coming thick and fast. I suppose also, as well as that, Bournemouth have parted ways with Scott Parker, their manager. I think it should come pretty quick into the new season as such, but that is the nature of the beast of football. And there's a lot of speculation going on about the reasons why he would have been let go. Some people are saying it's because they were trashed 9-0 by Liverpool their last match. But there's also comments about remarks he was making about the depth, the quality of the players. And I think that in time we'll probably hear a little bit more about that there. If anything, of course, his sacking should be a reminder to some of the other managers there of the precarious nature that they might find themselves in. And there's one manager in particular who I'm looking at, and it's Steven Gerrard. I think as the manager of Aston Villa, he's looking over his shoulder and needs to get a result, and they are playing Arsenal next. Arsenal are no pushover this season. They're showing a lot of resilience. So there's a lot riding on this for Mr. Gerrard. He's talking the talk about trying to turn the corner with the team, but I think the fans are voicing their discontent at the results of this and the way that Aston Villa are progressing in the table this season. And that's football.
Well, that's very good, Eamon. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm not quite finished yet. Oh, no. Go ahead. I also was just going to add that I'm reading a fascinating biography of the actor Robert Morley. The great book, I have to say. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. And the book is actually written by his son, Sheridan. And for those of you who may be not too aware of Robert Morley, he's an actor of the stage and screen. Played Oscar Wilde in London in 1936. He then appeared in Edward, My Son, and that was on Broadway, London. He brought it to Australia as well. He then appeared with David Tomlinson in The Little Hut. This was back in 1950. But you probably might remember him as being the brother in The African Queen with Katharine Hepburn and Humphrey Bogart. And you'll also catch him in Vincent Price's Theatre of Flood. So I have a few more pages to read in that, but as I said, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's a great read, fascinating, so it is.
Okay, Eamon. Well, thank you very much for that. Hector, over to yourself.
Well, I am not too bad, thank you. I had quite a weekend. I am not doing no reading like Eamon do. I had to clothes to wash, get them clean. My mum always said, don't keep your clothes nice and clean, they'll last no longer. Now, I did go to the Silver Strand in Galway. It was a nice day, went out with friends. The beach was not too busy, a few people around there. And we ended up then having a nice meal in the Connemara Coast Hotel. Very nice. The food was lovely there. Service very good. Very enjoyed. I recommend it to anyone who go out that way there. And I also then heard from my friend Damo that he had another barbecue, and this time there was less smoke.
That's a good thing, isn't it? Less smoke. You must be impressed with that.
Well, I thought this too, until I find out he got neighbour in to do the barbecue.
Oh, okay.
So he have a barbecue, and he not barbecuing. He has someone else come in to do the barbecuing. No smoke, different barbecuing.
So what you're telling us here, Hector, is you're still none the wiser about the Irish method of the barbecuing.
I see a lot of smoke, and then I hear there's no smoke. I kind of just wondering what these guys are doing here. Well, I thought of barbecuing, were they not? Well, they're barbecuing, but I I really don't know.
Maybe some of our listeners might email in some of their barbecue tips to Hector there.
Well, I would be very welcome to read any tip that they send in to me.
Well, listeners, as you're well aware, Captain Fantastical Mick is doing the Camino walk this year. Now, we had hoped Abe would be back with us on the show, but unfortunately, he's a little delayed.
How do you mean he's a little delayed?
Well, it seems that the walk is taking a little bit longer.
The Eamon says to me last week it's going to be a 5-week walk and you want me to end up getting delayed. I don't think so. It is not.
No, it's not that now, Hector. It's not that at all. It's more the case that Mick has got sidetracked on the journey.
I see. So he's not joining us this week. Will he join us next week?
Well, I don't know. We might find out. I spoke to Mick a little earlier on, and this is what he's had to say. Well, Mick, I think we have you on the line there, have we?
Well, I'm on the line, all right. And I thought I'm not there this week. I hope everybody's getting on okay.
Yes, I think we're doing fine here, Mick. Hector and Eamon will be on the show later on with me. Now, you were doing the Camino walk, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I thought I'd do the Camino walk this year, just a little bit of a stroll around. And, yeah, it's very different to what I expected.
And Mick, I wonder, would you be able to tell our listeners a little bit about the walk, about what you're doing this year? Where are you walking?
Well, I started off my walk from the port town of Ferrol. It's up there in Spain, of course. They call this walk the Camino Inglés. And anyway, so I have to travel from Ferrol. In order to qualify, they get one of these pilgrim certificates. You have to walk, it's over 100 kilometres you have to walk. And it's a nice place. It's very, very nice. Never been there before, but nice coastal town, nice people, nice views. Doing well. Nice coastal views for the first couple of days walking.
Very nice. And so you've been at the coast and you're walking there for the first few days. What direction do you go next, or where are you going? What are the conditions like, Mick?
Well, it's very hot, I have to say, and you definitely need to have the factor 50 and buckets of water. And after the first couple of days, you head inland then. So I left Ferrol and then I walked on to another little province called Neighbour. Stayed there for the night and then headed off towards Pont-Dum. And then from that, we stayed there again overnight. And then after that, I went along to a place called Betanzanos. I think we're pronouncing it right. I hope people will understand. And that's where we got a little bit of a snag then, because when I was leaving Betanzanos, I asked for directions, and I ended up, I don't know what happened, going the wrong way, and I found myself way off track at a place called Oza de Rios. And thankfully, the people were very nice there. And, they give us something to drink, something to eat. And, look, it's off the beaten path. Not where I wanted to go, but it's where we ended up.
Okay, so you have left, I think it's Betanzos actually, Mick, is the name of the place that you were in before you got lost or gone on the wrong directions.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, Betanzos. Yeah. It's not. What was I calling it? Betanzanos or someplace. That's probably someplace out in Greece. No. Betanzos. That's where it was, and that's where I went. I think I got the lefts and the rights mixed up there with that. There was two people giving me directions. But as I said, we wound up on other diarrheas, and we managed to get ourselves back on track again.
Okay, so as you said, you got yourself back on track. And where did you head to next then? I mean, where are you at the moment? And have you any other information for us as such?
Well, after we got directions from this fella in Oza de Rios, we headed off to another place called Pazza de San Tirso. I think that's what we had a bat to eat there, and we have a stay there, and there's another little bit of a walk. And we're currently now at a place called Messon de Vento. Of about 35, maybe 36 kilometers to go before I arrive at Camino de Santiago.
Oh, very good, Mick. So you'll probably finish it, will you, now in another day or two, and you'll be glad to have finished the walk.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'd like to think that in probably about 2 days I'll be finished, and I'll be in Camino de Santiago with all the other pilgrims and all the other people who walked it there, and look at it's good, it's warm, feet are very sore, so they are, I have to say, and but I have to say I've enjoyed the little snacks along the way. They make these nice fried eggs, and they have chorizo underneath. They're very nice, plenty of nice vegetables and lettuce and tomatoes, very nice. I've had one or two of the local beers as well. They're quite good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I'll be glad when it's all over.
Well, Mick, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to talk to us about your Camino walk and your experiences. I'm sure you'll have a few other stories for us when you get back to the studio. I'm sure that Eamon and Hector, along with our listeners, wish you all the very best and safe travelling for the remainder of your journey.
Well, thank you very much. It means a lot. Appreciate all of the support, and I look forward to getting back. Put my feet up. Just a little bit of a rest, and catch up with the lads to hear how the football's been getting on there. So again, listen, thanks for ringing, and all my best to everybody and all the listeners too. Thanks.
And thanks to you as well, Mick. So we'll be chatting to you in person very soon. Take care.
Well, now, folks, there you go. Mick is nearly finished the walk.
Well, yes. I listened to that there, and it sounded, good at the beginning. This business of not knowing his left or right and getting lost perplexed me. That's something like Hector would do, so I would.
Eamon, thank you very much. You're always going at me here to say, just because I got lost once, don't mean I go get lost all the time. You have to give someone a break.
I understand, yes, exactly. I would give you a break there, but I suppose there is the language barrier for Mick, and that, we don't know who he was talking to. They could have been Chinese, or they could have been Peruvian, or Egyptian people. We don't know what nationality they were. We might discover this when he's back. And however, I do have to say, I admire him. He's on the walk. He's lasting the base there. Nearly finished.
Indeed. Hector, you're not tempted by this, are you? I get the funny feeling, Hector, that you are not sold on this Camino walk business.
I'm not sold on the way Eamon trying to sell this. He trying to flog some like a dead dog at me, I'm not saying anything about the dead dogs or anything. But he's trying to flog something that is not working for me. And I am not, I don't know. I think maybe I go and climb Patrick again.
Well, will we go on and have a look at Gameweek 4 and how the football went for our managers?
Okay, yes. Looking forward to this.
Okay, so Gameweek 4, the highest points were 149 and the average points were 62. Hector, do you want to talk to us about the top 5 teams in the league for Gameweek 4?
Okay, in at number 1, and they move up from second position last week, was Side Effects May Vary, and they had 69 points. They had no transfers. They opted to have the Salah as their captain and got 6 points. They did have the Haaland as their vice captain though, and they got 17 points. Alexander-Arnold got 17 points. Gabriel had 9 points, and Saka had 5 points as well. Then rising up to number 2 spot, and they were in number 4th last week, was Taiga, 70 points. They had no transfers though. Captain Salah, 6 points. Haaland was there with 17. Now they had Luis Diaz, who got 14 points. James had 7, and Alexander Arnold had the 17 points with him. Then down to third place from first last week, Cleash Bate, 36 points, 1 transfer. Trippier came in and Taganga went out. They had Jesus as their captain, not very good. Kane got 10 points, and James, he was there with the 7 points to them. Okay. Up to fourth place then, and they were in sixth place last week, is NWA Blood, 83 points. They had 3 transfers and lost 4 points. Odegaard came in, Bruno Guimaraes went out, Gundogan came in, Luis Diaz went out, Rodrigo came in, Eriksson went out. They had the captain Haaland though, got 34 points. Odegaard had the 10 points. Perisic got them 6 points, and Alexander Arnold had 17 points. And up to 5th place from 9th last week is Raglan Road, 76 points. They had 1 transfer. Trippier came in, Thiago Silva went out. They opted for Haaland as the captain also and got 34 points. Bernardo got them 9, Odegaard got them 10, and Gabriel was there with 9 points. They were the main hitters there. Okay, right. Eamon, then you want to talk to us from 6th down to 10th then?
There's no change in 6th place from last week. FC Fitz, and they had 71 points. 2 transfers. Perisic came in, James went out, Rodrigo came in, and Neto went out, and they opted to go for Salah as their captain, picking up 6 points. Haaland was there, as was he in several of the teams, and got 17 points. Robinson was there with 9 points. Alexander Arnold had 17 points, so Perisic got them 6. Gabriel had 9 points. So they were getting points in the defence. Very good there. Down to 7th place for last week's 5th position. Real, no stars, 61 points, no transfers. Opted for Salah as the captain, 6 points. They 2 had Haaland there for 17 points. Cucurella is doing well for them, 5 points. Alexander Arnold had 17 points, and their goalkeeper Allison also had 6 points. So they have a couple of points coming in there. Down to 8th place from 3rd spot last week. What a Beauty 99, 54 points. They opted to play a free hit this week, and for some reason they decided to captain Rodrigo, got 4 points. Haaland was there with 17. Salabah got 7 points. Veltman got 6 points, and their goalkeeper Henderson picked up 9 points for them. Up then to 9th place from last week's 10th, we have Canby High, Cancelo, 60 points. They played a wild card, opted for Salah as the captain for 6 points. Alexander Arnold had the 17 points. Robinson had 9, James 7, Persic 6, and the goalkeeper had Rhea had 6 points there. On the bench was Meteridge forward with 7 points. And down to 10th place from last week's 8th is Arkham Avengers, 57 points. The Spoofer didn't make any transfers. They had captain Salah as 6 points. Haaland had 17 points, Gabriel 9, James 7, and their goalkeeper Rhea had 6 points. And that's the sum total of what they have there.
Okay, lads, that's fine there. Do we have any notable mentions, Eamon, this week?
Not from me. I'm not really having any notable mentions there. If I could probably just say, I think 2 managers decided to play wildcard. Cunderland, who are currently in 11th place, played a wildcard, got 81 points. Iron Maiden FC also played a wildcard. They were up to 16, got 74 points. The good, the bad, and the goalie, maximum effort, both went up to best season ever, back down again. It's a bit of an up and down business here with these guys presently at the moment. Better idea, 22, 23 is also on the drop along with the Blytham. Blytham still haven't managed to arrest this issue. I gave them probably about 2 or 3 matches. Other than that, their season could be nearly finished. Or they would find it very hard to crack a top 5 position if they don't start to move here.
Okay. Hector, anything from yourself there, Ted?
No, I have nothing else to add there. I think Eamon has covered it all very well.
Okay, well, that's very good there.
Can I just possibly make one inquiry if I can?
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm just still wondering, and I'm sure our listeners are also wondering if there's any possibility that the theology and the psychology of the fantasy football transfers could be resurrected by you, Hector. Are you going to come back to this subject, or have you dropped it like a hot potato?
Like a hot potato.
Yes, like a hot potato. You've taken a hot potato out of the oven and you've dropped it.
Hector, I'm trying to figure out where a hot potato come out of here, but putting that to one side, not that I'd be handling hot potato. You have to put oven gloves on or have it on, tray,
Look, it's saying there that you're trying to avoid this now, Hector. This is going on for a number of weeks. You said you were going to talk about this topic, and we are now into another game week, another episode, and I'm hearing nothing. And frankly, the sound of silence from you on this topic is alarming, that you decided to give some big spiel about all of this psychology and the theology of the football, which I said sounded good, but I don't think there's any substance, and I'm certainly not hearing any substance here at the moment.
Hector, he has a point. I mean, you haven't actually come back on this topic. That's right. I will be coming back on it. Sometimes, as I said I said at the start of the season, I pace myself. The Hector here will speak when ready and stuff.
Oh, that's not good enough. What the Hector here will speak when good and ready. The listeners here, and I'm speaking for myself, want to hear what on earth you're cracking on about this. Maybe next week you might have something to add to the already large selection of drivel that you spoke about on the topic in the first place. I mean, you can't certainly dress it up any worse than what it has been.
Eamon, I will talk, okay, and I will touch in the subject. I know the subject.
Well, I hope you do. And you're the host. You really should be tackling on him.
Look, I'm not tackling Hector on anything. I mean,
speaking of tackling, actually, what about Eamon's tackles? Yes, well, I think I'm tackling this guy, so I am. This joker sitting here beside me is not coming up with the goods. I am tackling him.
Yeah, but you were tackling him before. Have you anybody else to tackle?
Well, look, I could tackle a lot of things here. The price of electricity would be one topic, but I think we could be going on for all night. And look, you'll hardly want the lights on with the price of the electric. So look, don't be turning this onto me.
I'm not turning it onto you. You came up here and you said to me that I should be tackling Hector about his topic. I've only just asked you, what about your segment? I mean, your segment has only appeared once or twice, and that's about it.
Yes, well, I didn't think I was going to have the segment every week.
What? Hector mightn't have a chat about his theology and his psychology of fantasy football transfers for another couple of weeks. He might be working on what it is that he wants to say.
That's right, yes, I could be working on it. You could be working on it, but I don't think you are working on it. And I think this nonsensical topic that came up on a show, it was just such a waste of time for our listeners to listen.
Well, I don't know about that, Eamon. I mean, you're making a judgment about what our listeners had to say and what our listeners feel about the topic.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion on that.
I'm glad you think I am entitled to it, Eamon. But as I was saying, while you want to have a go at Hector, you also have your segment, and we're not hearing anything about that there. So I think both of you should go away and come back next week with something to talk about. Okay?
Yes, well, I can do that. That's no problem with me.
Yeah, I can do that also. Good, that's settled there. Now, okay, Hector, any shout-outs this week as we start to wrap up the show? Yes, I have a big shout-out for all our listeners, especially listeners in Germany, Frankfurt on Main. Very nice to hear that you're listening, and please, if you want to get in touch, send email to us. We have listeners in the Netherlands, in Tiel, Gelderland, in Iran, in Philadelphia, in America, New York, California. In Ireland, we had listeners in Cork, in Dublin, Monaghan, Galway, Longford, Sligo, Donegal. We have listeners in Poland, United Kingdom, France, and in Canada. So, big thumbs up, high five to all our listeners there. Well, I think that's about it for this week's episode. That's Game Week 4 all wrapped up. Lads, it was a pleasure to have you here with us.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here, even sometimes if I'm going to be accosted for no reason. No, look, Eamon, we're not even going back into that, okay? We're wrapping up the show. Yes, that's okay. I understand you. And Hector, thank you for coming in as well.
Yes, I very, very glad to be on the show. Thank you. It was always nice, and look forward to Captain Mick coming back next week as well.
Yes, indeed. Okay. And all that remains for me is to thank you, our listeners, for joining us. Please do remember to subscribe, tell your friends, families, your work colleagues about us. If you would like to get in contact with the show, you can do so by sending us an email to arkamavengersffpl@gmail.com, or you can send us a message on Twitter or on Facebook. And I hope that each and every one of you remain safe and well and have a good day. I hope you have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a good night, wherever you are in the world. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and we'll be talking to you next week. Slán.